Hello again, and excuse my peculiarities in English. And this time we are going to have a great big fight in Carelian Isthmus and East Karelia area, where there will be taking like over 30 Finnish fighters, and I don't even remember how many Russian air assets. And the point is that in a run scenario, there would be fighting in Baltic states, and in that scenario, it would be most likely that Russia would try to take control of Finnish southern coast and aerospace, and this is sort of based on that, so that there is fighting in the eastern part of Finland, and so Finnish Air Force has to cut the logistic chain from inner Russia to the fighting area, so that there is a chance to resist, and in long term ability to push the enemy back. The Russian Air Force has okay, like I run it on speed because this is gonna be a very long video, like 48 minutes. And Russians have A-100 AWACS in the air, so as you can see, there are a lot of fighters moving towards north because the AWACS could see those fighters coming from Kuopio area. So there's a lot of movement going that way. And then the Finns, of course, get sort of a jump on them, because the fighters can't see what the AWACS can see. And with the Meteor missile and the Typhoon's excellent radar, the Finns are able to start shooting way before the Russians can. And there is sort of three elements into this scenario. First of all, there is this offensive counter-air thing, that the offensive elements try to punch through into the air defense, like airborne air defense. And then there is suppression of enemy air defenses scenario, in which there are a couple of flights that are going to punch through the air defense bubble of the Russians. And then in the third place, there will be bombers flying in to drop the bridges, as what you can see as a sort of red semicircles all around the area. And as you can see, the meteors are performing pretty well again, and so that you get a lot of drops even before the Russian air defense, Russian airplanes can fire. And that's sort of the big deal with all the Western airplanes, that you need to have a good missile, because the Suhois are just as good, or maybe even better in maneuverability than the Western planes. So you need to have a long distance, so that you can shoot from long distance and not to come into the close fight, so that your electronics and radars can turn the tide for you. Unfortunately, you cannot see all the windows I'm opening here, but now I'm firing in Spear 3 missiles that the Typhoons are carrying, and also Spear electronic warfare missiles to jam the radar systems, so that the Spear 3 missiles can get so close that there's a chance of them to destroy the missile launchers and the radars in the area. And now, as you can see, I targeted the Petrovskoy or Petrovachowsk area air defense for that treatment, and now I'm doing the same thing in the Carelian Isthmus or Carelian Kannas area. And it's funny that you can see some of the pop-up windows that open, but not all. But well, there you have it. And yeah, after I have destroyed the air defense assets in the area, then I'll be starting to fly the bombers in. I guess if you were really professional about it, the bombers could already be in the air, so that they are right there just after you have managed to destroy the air defense assets. But well, I'm doing this alone, and there's a lot of happening there, so I wanted to cut the workload maybe a little. But well, I'm sure that the professionals could plan this better. But well, there you have it. And this is not a real simulation anyhow, so we are sort of in the ballpark estimate anyway. Okay, let's see when I put this. Oh yeah, and as you can see, the yellow question marks change into red question marks, which means that they have been targeted. And also there is a lot of pressure coming from the fighters in the area. They do tend to get close, and I'm sure I'm not breaking any big news if I tell you that there will be losses for Finnish Air Force as well. Okay, and now you can see that there are those Spear EV missiles in the air, because you can see that there's a sort of like a little airplane that says jam next to it. That's the Spear EV missile, and all the other missiles are just the same missiles as anything like else, so that it's sometimes hard to tell them apart. Yeah, and also what some people have pointed out to me before, that this how they use the missiles here is pretty wasteful, because you always fire two. But I think I don't know, but I think that's sort of how they operate in the big world. So that's why I think that's how they operate also in Finland in this. And as these Spear EVs fly faster than Spear 3s, you have to keep on it and put the Spear EVs in the air every so often, so that you keep in the jamming capability, so that the enemy is not able to shoot down the Spear EV missiles as they are coming close, which they are very much capable of doing. Yeah, okay, and this seems to be progressing quite well. Yeah, there's a sets of Spear EVs coming in, and there's another Sukhoi, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I think there is air dominance fighters are returning home already, because they have expanded the ordnance, so that they just have to go back. But well, what can you do? And there we will see hits pretty soon. There in the Viipuri area there is two I think Tor or book systems, and in the central Kannas there is S400 and protective systems around it, so that I think it's a pretty reasonable bubble, so that that's something you might see. Okay, now Viipuri air defenses have been destroyed, and also we have some damage on the first bridge there as well. And there's I think Sukhoi 27 flying in the south of St. Petersburg, so that's what they will be doing. And as you see that there's like a bad spot now in the north, because their next air defense patrol is just coming, and you only have like SEAD and DEAD planes there, which have expended their meteors, so they have to let the Sukhois come quite close, and those Sukhois that are coming are Sukhoi 23s from up north, and they are very much capable of shooting down the Typhoons. And yeah, well, that's an air defense pair I found, so I'm trying to get it up north, so that it gives sort of some protection for the SEAD peoples before they can fire on those. If my recollection serves, they even the Sukhoi patrol came from the north, and they shot down the first salvo of the Spear 3 missiles. So yeah, it's really cool how deeply this system goes into the real like air defense scenarios. And I'm hoping to in near future I can get the real simulation one that will allow me to do even better simulations, because then it will be real simulation, not a game used as a simulation, which will give a much better prediction. Because there might be like a bias towards Western equipment in games, because most of the kids playing these will be Western, so they want their side to do good. But well, there you have it. Okay, I think I'm planning to shoot the next salvo. Yeah, there's going to be the next salvo of Spear 3s, and also some more Spear EVs to the air, and also the first two bombers in the air to drop the bridges around Viipuri area. And yeah, I think the Viborg area might be reachable by the MAL RS system as well. So would you risk airplanes to doing that? Maybe no, but since if you can do it, and you have to go deeper in the Kannas or Carelian Isthmus anyway, you might just do it because you are in the area and you just might have the bombs. And now you can see that I'm planning the airstrike here, but unfortunately you can't see the. Okay, and now it's going to be airborne, and they are going to start from there north of Jyväskylä. and when I zoom out you can see the plotted course they are gonna take, like that. Okay, now you know that, yeah, these guys are in business. And as you can see, there's still fighters coming up from St. Petersburg airport, but since we are already so deep in the area, we can pretty much like start shooting them down as soon as they are airborne. Okay, let's see how this fares. There's spear trees going in the north. And then there's quite a bit jamming, and those are, yeah, there's a lot of spear trees airborne towards those assets in the middle of the Kannas area. Okay. And even though you try to keep a respective distance from the area Russian assets, you still sometimes those fighters want to get close, and then you are in all kinds of trouble. And in like sometimes in this game they do really stupid things that you didn't even ask them to do, and there's a very good example of it in the end game there. What happens? And yeah, there's now one Sukhoi 27 airborne, and in the north, like Petroschovosk, so Petroskoye area, and now they go through the jam. And let's see how the spear trees fare there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and well, there's a jamming plane. It comes pretty close, but I'd like the spear EV to be a bit front of the spear trees, so that they would get maximum cover. But this is pretty good as well, because you can think of it as like you are trying to see, and somebody is like shining light into your eyes. But let's see. So that there's a lot of happening, and it seems that in the south everything is going pretty well. The close-in air defense systems are shooting down the spears, so that none of them got through. But in the Carelian Isthmus area, they are hitting the radar systems pretty well. And so you have the sort of the area all open in the next moment, because there's like no air defense missile assets there on the place. So Carelian Isthmus is now open, and even the S-400 system that is in the middle of the Carelian Isthmus there is quite damaged, so I think it's unable to fire anything. So now we are good to go. And then the two Sukhois that took got air from Petroskoye area are going to start chasing our shared dirt elements in the north. So I accept we will be in trouble there. There we have still some spear trees with flight Grim 9. I think that came from the north, in fact, because I was trying to find it later on, that where did they go, because I didn't remember that they would have been shut down, but now they are like having a joyride wrong side of the Ladoga Lake. So there's I think I'm planning the bombing run on the Carelian Isthmus, because nothing else seems to be happening there on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, now I think I'm adding that's it, I'm adding the bridges to the target list, and I had it in the bit of the side so that I could see the area better. And now there will be some more. Yeah, now there will be a second bomb run. But if you were like really planning this kind of operation, you would really go heavy on the air defense, like the offensive counter-air there. If you wanted to get something done. I think I just lost the fighter there. But okay, they're still like pouring in missiles. Because I know that in the end I had lost 5 Typhoons, and I only like sort of saw 4. So I think that's one of those occasions. And okay, as you can see, the skies are again clear for the FIF to continue. And yeah, we didn't get any damage on those. So now I'm trying to find out where the heck did I put the spear carriers. I mean spear 3 shooters, and they are in the Ladoga area, and I put them firing on the central Carelian Isthmus. But well, can't help it anymore. Like I had planned for them to be used against that air defense bubble in the Svir area, but in the end we couldn't like take it out completely. So, but in the end it didn't really matter, because we got some damage into it, and or then that they fired like a shitload of missiles, so that in the end it was neutralized, if not destroyed. Yeah, and yeah, I think I'm having a bearing only launch there again, so that at least the S system there, the air defense battalion, can't fire. But as you can see, it's much more dense in the Carelian Isthmus area than it's in the Svir area there. And in the Svir area or Syväri area, there is only 2 big bridges, and another one of them is running on top of a dam so the carrying capacity there would not be that great, and so that you could really isolate the area from the logistics quite well, because there are few roads and few bridges in the area, so that you can really wreak havoc there, and so that you can get some things done on the long run. And come to think of it, I think the British offered for the Finnish Defense Forces with the sidekick as or side dish for the Typhoon, to access of their satellite imaging assets, let's say. Well, and after this, that might be very useful, because you could really like pay attention that what are they trying to repair, and what they have decided not to repair, so that you could sort of pinpoint the next strikes to one or two sites, which would make it quite a bit easier to accomplish this, compared to that you have to like your air battle area is sort of what that might be. That's like 300 kilometers east to west, and maybe like another 300 or maybe 400 north to south. So there's a lot of space to cover. Okay, now oh yeah, there's planning for bombing runs, so that's why it's not progressing at all. So please excuse me. If I was better at it, I could do it on the run, but I'm just old me, and so it takes time. Okay. Yeah, some more Spear EVs into the air. And well, there are still jamming Spears airborne. Now you can see that there is the bomb run to the middle of a Carelian Isthmus going. And you could do it better, well, if we are talking the game, you could do it better by just like sending one plane to do one or two bridges, because Typhoon, well, these Typhoons carry 4 1,000-pound bombs that are pretty good for destroying these bridges, so that basically one fighter could take care of took care of 2 bridges, and you would still get like a drop 2 on a one bridge that would pretty much certify the destruction of it. Yeah. Okay, there's one more bomb run beginning. Sometimes I have really made an effort to down the A100, but that usually proved quite costly, so I refrained from it this time. And as you can pretty much see, there's the air defense, like fighter assets of the Russian Air Force have pretty much been depleted, and there is only a couple of MiGs there. Like you can see, there's a slot back radar in the air, so that they are in the dire straits. They just don't have enough air assets to go there, so that now you have the local air dominance there going. And let's see, the jamming is there. The air defense battalion in Petroskoye area is firing heavily, and but it really can't concentrate on the bombers on the way. Okay, and there's the one flight to the river Svir or Syväri. And yeah, with humans you could do it maybe a bit more complicated, because you could just like with one pair of fighters try to take 2 targets, but with this you have to like plan one run, and it usually well, it can take care of few close by targets, but not really like go there and drop all the bombs you have into different targets. They bring ordnance home, which might not be so smart in this case. Well, not altogether smart. And well, I talk of it when it happens, so there's some peculiarities happening again in the game or simulation. Yeah, and there's, as you can see, there's some battalion, S350, so it's pretty advanced. And then there is some platoon with Tor protecting the SAM battalion, but I think the SAM battalion has its own assets to protect it really, so they are indeed very hard targets. I think in fact Russians refer them as air defense divisions, and the air defense division is expensive asset, so you don't have like hundreds or even tens of them. You have like maybe 20 air defense divisions for all of Russia right now. Of course you are building them slowly by slowly, but that's how it usually goes. You can't. Okay, there I lost one Typhoon, unfortunately. And also there's a... Okay, oh, I did manage to drop the... Oh, the A100 survived again. And there's a lot of missiles going on from the 350 system. Oh yeah, that one SAM system there is pretty much wasted. It's red, so it definitely can't fire, so you can just like ignore it for now. Okay, we managed to splash the A100, so after this the air defense would be pretty much guessing what's going on. But of course, like in real world, it would be very, very clear that now there's a major attack coming. and major action anyway. And yeah, you could, if you wanted to like do this really nicely and smoothly, you would have to devote so much time into timing the spare EVs and spare trees, so that you would get a constant cover for the missiles, so that the spear trees would have a good chance of penetrating the air defense. Now I put on some more speed because there is really not that much going on. Okay, and there I lost another Typhoon, but there's still like not that much going on, because there is no more Russian fighters to be seen, so there is really only the bombing runs going on. And as you can see, there are quite a few spear trees going for the missile side at Petroskoy. And yeah, just one more. It's pretty hard to get the spear EVs to go there at the right intervals. Like you just have to send them every so often, and hope that your missiles get close enough so that they are not shot down when they are approaching. But as I said, the air defense battalion or air defense division is a really hard nut to crack. There are all kinds of defensive close in defense assets to protect the big shooter, so that you can't, like you can see now, there's I don't know how many spear EVs are there, and in the end, boom, one got through. So next salvo should have easier time penetrating. But there are still like stuff in the air. You lost one, you lost two, and you lost three. Those two missiles that this division fired went straight into the jamming, so that the control was lost. And in the circle there's one fighter. I don't know why it's getting so close, because it doesn't really make any sense to get so close into the area. But that's what it did. Okay, I'm trying to get the Outlaw 24 to bomb the two bridges that are still left there, but and they still have 4 paveways there, so they basically could do it, and they were supposed to do it. So I just don't get like why they didn't do it, because there is 4 assets going in there, and 4 bombs. So there's 2 fighters and there was 4 targets. So yeah, you could use 2 paveways into each bridge, and you'd be doing right, because the bridges wouldn't survive those 1,000-pounders. There's a lot of explosive there, even without the penetration. Yeah. Yeah, that's still me trying to get the fighters to go at the 2 last bridges there, but I think I have in the end I have to send a new pair altogether. And yeah, that's pretty much like real world real world thing. You don't like just usually fly in the area and start bombing stuff. And that's okay. Now what happens? Oh yeah, there in the Petroskoy area that's where I lost the one Typhoon. I couldn't see it because it was not, the flight was not active and they were so much apart. But yeah, that's what happened. So that was one fighter I lost. I hadn't noticed that at all. Sorry about the noise in the background. That's a family life for you. You tell the kids to be quiet, but they never are. Okay, now this is pretty much just like wrapping up here. Okay, there's now one coming close. Oh, yeah, and they did bomb. It seems that the one bridge in the middle Kannas area, but that was pretty much it. And okay, now the skies are clear again, and there's this one slot back coming, and there's two in the north. There are two. There's a railroad and road bridge, or two big road bridges, and that's where they are dropping the stuff. I think in fact, the other one was like inland. And there goes second one, and then the one plane, the little orange circle, goes and takes care of the bridge down south. As you could see, that the bomb just appeared in the air. Okay, there's two more MiG-31s coming into the area, but they are going to be bushwhacked right about now. And there they have it, like that. And yeah, there's two more runs there going in. So already in this part this far in the scenario, the Finnish Air Force pulled it off pretty nicely. Yeah, you got like a bit more losses that you would really want to have. Like 5 planes that would be like for the whole Air Force, that would be all like getting close to 10% losses. So it's like 7-8% losses. So that would be really, really devastating. So you wouldn't want to, on the long run, to have that kind of losses. So you could say that for the VVS, this would be pretty much a draw, because you caused significant damages. And if it was a wartime, I don't think the Finnish Air Force could go to the supermarket and get 5 new fighters to replace the 5 you lost. So that the problem would really be bad. And there's one more pair of Sukhoi 33s coming from up north, and basically the bombers could like change what they are doing and just turn north and have a go at those two, but I think that they will just wait for them to come in range and then take care of it, and not to go for like an offensive action. And yeah, obviously the other one who has dropped a bomb, and I think they have pretty much pretty much dropped everything they have already, so that there is not really a requirement for them to try to go at the like there is no hindrance of going against the or after those two Suhois up there, because you are pretty good. Oh yeah, it did take it. So this another flight that's going in is a bit of superfluous. So that would have been at least wasted fuel. So now you see that what the funny thing happened. Like, okay, there was this one flight, and now they are for some reason changing targets, and they are flying over the Petroskoy area just for what I take to for the hell of it, because there's like a well, if you drop the bombs on the air defense battalion or division, what you want to call it, it would make sense. But now they are just sort of like running around circles there for no good reason, and putting more fighters into danger. So yeah, I'm not really like what the game was trying to do, and that's why I just went and in the end and unassigned them and basically told them to get hell out of there, because there's like nothing what you can achieve with a couple of iron bombs in there. The air defense division is a broad big target, so you'd really have a hard time trying to bomb it with the 1,000-pounders. Yeah. So let's see. Now it seems at least that yeah, it takes them time. Now I got it. Now I got them to go away. But for some reason it's not firing missiles anymore. So that's pretty much about it. There are still like those ones who are coming from the north against the Spear EV planes. Those could have gone home as well already. And let's see how that goes. Well, the good thing that offensive counter-air people like cleared the skies, so there's nothing much happening anymore. And so basically now just everybody is flying back. So okay, thank you for looking this video, and I hoped it was somewhat informative of you. I don't think I will be doing another videos for Euro canards here, but you don't know. Okay, have a nice one.